Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am testing the new foundation from Jones Road Beauty. Recently I uploaded a video testing a bunch of new products from Jones Road Beauty, and there are some products in there that I absolutely love. One of them is the foundation sticks. This is like my new holy grail now for those like no makeup kind of makeup days, just to have something to throw on the face. The Miracle Balm didn't quite work out for me, but if you guys have not seen that video, I will link it in the description box down below. When I bought all of my Jones Road Beauty products, the foundation hadn't launched yet. So as soon as it launched, I was excited to grab it. I've probably worn it 4 or 5 times. Today, I'm going to be doing a full wear test, and I'll probably wear it for 10 to 12 hours. I'm also going to be doing a daylight check-in, like a midday daylight check-in, taking you guys outside, zooming you in real close, letting you guys see how it's wearing. And I did not put any primers on today, so I wanted to wear it without primers, and the only place that I put powder was right here in the center, just to kind of calm the shine down, especially for filming, because these lights reflect off of any shine. So because I knew I was going to be filming, I did powder a tiny bit, but I didn't use like translucent setting powder. I used a tiny bit of my Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder. So before we jump into the information about the foundation, up here on the screen is an image of my age, my skin type, what I like and what I dislike in foundation, and my skin concerns. So I think it's important for the audience to know what the person behind the camera likes and dislikes and what they need when it comes to foundation. Complexion products are so subjective, and we all need something different from our makeup. So I feel like it's important for you guys to know that, so that as you're watching the review, you know kind of my perspective and what I'm looking for and what I'm needing from a foundation. So let's go ahead and jump into the details. So this foundation retails for $44. You can buy it on the Jones Road Beauty website. It comes in 12 shades, and I have 2 shades here. So my shade range is between medium and medium tan. So I kind of fluctuate. It depends on the brand. It seems like every brand has their interpretation of tones. So I'm a medium to tan with a warm undertone. That is basically how I buy my foundations. And the shades that I have in this foundation is medium honey and honey. And I will swatch these 2 shades next to other popular foundations out in the market so that you guys can kind of get an idea of these 2 shades. And I will also list popular foundations out on the market and what shades I wear in those foundations in the description box, so you can use it as a guide if you think you're close to my complexion. This is the description on it. So what the foundation is: a tinted moisture balm meets traditional foundation. Blends seamlessly into the skin, leaving you with an even, fresh complexion that looks like your skin on its best day. WTF includes skin-nourishing ingredients like jojoba oil and sodium hyaluronate, works flawlessly with the face pencil, and offers buildable light-medium coverage. Choose from one of 12 shades created to blend across all skin tones. WTF is a first-of-its-kind innovation in the clean beauty space. In my video that I recently uploaded all about Jones Road Beauty, I kind of go into the philosophy behind the brand and all that. But if you guys did not know, Jones Road Beauty is owned by Bobbi Brown. So she sold the brand Bobbi Brown. So she no longer owns that, and she's no longer affiliated with it in any way. And she developed the brand Jones Road. So I've watched a lot of videos of Bobbi Brown talking about this brand, and this brand is all about no makeup. So she has that minimal makeup, no makeup approach to this brand. So everything in the brand is not a lot of coverage. It's really natural, very good skin ingredients. And that's the kind of vibes that this brand is. So if you're someone that likes or needs coverage, like a medium to full coverage, you're really not going to get that from anything from Jones Road Beauty. Even the foundation sticks, they are a light to medium coverage, but they give a pretty decent medium coverage. And I actually really like the foundation sticks. They're kind of becoming my holy grail, something that I'm constantly using. So this foundation is definitely that light to medium coverage, very, very skin-like, very hydrating, very dewy. In fact, my hair kind of keeps sticking to my face. So every time I've worn this foundation, that's the one thing I don't like about it is that my hair sticks to my face. However, if I powder, because there are days where I have powdered it, like with a little bit of translucent setting powder, that calms down the stickiness for a while. But right now, for testing purposes, I decided not to powder the perimeter of my face, and so my hair keeps sticking to my face. Like you can see kind of like right there where the hair kind of wants to stick. Just that juicy skin is kind of the vibes that this foundation is. So that's all the deets on it. Let's go ahead and jump into the application, and I'm going to apply it on camera, and then I'll take you guys outside, do a daylight check-in. Then we will get into the swatches, and I'm going to swatch these two shades next to the other foundations that I have. And then I will come back later on this evening. I will do a 10 to 12 hour test, like zooming you guys real close so you guys can see how the makeup looks 10 to 12 hours later. And then I will get into my final thoughts. So I will see you guys then. Okay, so we are gonna go ahead and start playing with this foundation from Jones Road. I've worn it a few times, so I kind of have an idea for it, but today we're gonna do kind of the wear tests and stuff. So I have two shades of it, and it's got a little bit of an oily texture to it. So I have the shade Medium Honey and Honey. It's a nice heavy jar, and it's got this nice lid on it like this. Okay, this is what it looks like. But let me show you guys what this looks like. You see how it looks? See the oils at the bottom? Ooh, it's leaking out. So it's that kind of a formula. So what I've been doing is kind of like mixing it together with my bottom of my spoolie, kind of mixing up those oils, because I noticed that if I took the foundation from the top, it had too much oil. So I almost have to like mix it up like this. And it eventually settles. Like every time I use it, I have to do this. So just FYI, every time I use it, this is what I'm doing. But I feel like I need to like give it a good mix. So this is the shade Medium Honey. And that is the shade that I have been using. And it's a really good shade for me. Honey is a little bit too dark for me. So you can see this is what it looks like. It's kind of ASMR. Right? So it's been 2 days since I've mixed it up. It kind of goes back to that, and it kind of creates a mess. So this is Honey. And Honey is quite warm. So that's Honey, and that's Medium Honey. And Honey is a good shade. It's just a little bit too warm for me right now. And Honey has got a nice olive, a little bit more on the olive side. It's a good shade. So I'm going to go ahead and use the shade Medium Honey. And how I've been doing it is basically I like to apply this with a brush and blend it into the skin with a sponge. That's been my preferred way to apply it. So I like to just take my finger down into it like this and just kind of dot it all over. And then I just take the brush and just blend it in. It smells like essential oils. But this is a good shade match for me. Like you can't really tell where I'm blending it into the skin. Like it blends really nice. It is quite thick, so it's a thicker formula. And that's why I feel like the brush kind of moves it a little bit better than a sponge does. It's been my experience that this is not really a foundation that you want to use like a ton of. If you use too much of it, it can kind of set on the skin because it does have that thickness to it, but it does look natural. It's just, you don't get like a ton of coverage, but you do get good, I would say maybe a light medium coverage. And the other day I wore it just kind of testing it, and on the places where I wanted a tiny bit more coverage, I went in with the Jones Road foundation sticks, which I've actually really been enjoying these foundation sticks. They're really nice. But you can kind of see that that looks really good. It still looks like my skin. You have to mix it up though. Like if you don't mix it up, like the first time that I went into it and put it on, it was oily because I dipped my finger into it and my finger was like oily and I was like, ooh, what is that? So the trick is you have to mix it with something. Like mix it up, give it a good mix. It's kind of messy, so that's the thing that I don't like about it, I'm gonna be honest, is that when you put this on it, like you can see I've got some foundation sitting here on the edges, but that's what happens when you're using a foundation out of a jar. Like, that's just something to think about. I like the smell of it, but if you don't like essential oils, you won't like this one. Now, I used a clean brush, so I don't feel like I need to go over it with a sponge. I feel like my brush was able to kind of push it into the skin, but I've noticed that if I'm using a brush that I've already used previous, it'll show brush marks, and so I have to go in with a sponge to kind of push it into the skin. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there. I think it looks really healthy, really natural, and I think if you saw me in person, I don't think you'd know I was wearing foundation. I think it looks really natural. So right now it is 11:10, and I'm not going anywhere today. I just have a ton of laundry to do. I got some editing to do, so I'm not really gonna be doing a lot as far as that goes, but I will do a daylight check-in. So I'll take you guys outside, zoom you in so you guys can see how it's wearing. And I think I will powder it, but I'll only powder it like a little bit here in this area, but I think I'll leave the rest just so that those of you that don't wear powder can see how it wears. And then I will do probably a 12-hour check-in. So that's it for the application. I will see you guys in my next check-in. Okay, so I am back to do my midday check-in. It is currently 4:55, and my dog was just right here. He'll keep popping it. There he is. That's Rowdy. That is my golden retriever. He's the love of my life. Hi, Rowds. He's mad because he can't come out, but I got to focus on this, and he'll kind of, you know, do his thing out front. He can only be out back unsupervised. Anyway, okay, you can see I'm quite shiny. I did set the perimeter of my face, but that didn't really matter because it's kind of shiny and kind of, you can tell. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So you can see that just within a few short hours, I've started to lose a lot of the makeup, like right around this area. It's almost gone, and I've really tried hard not to touch my face. And then you can see also like right along here, it's like gone. So you know when you're doing this, like pulling your hair out of your face, that is what's happening. So I'm doing that, and as I keep touching it, it's removing the foundation. So you can see that it's kind of gone, right? So you can see that it's really shiny, like really shiny. And any place that I touch my face, I feel like my makeup is just like picking up, right? This is how it's looking around the mouth. I mean, I've lost a lot of the coverage right here. Like it's pretty much gone. And like I said, I haven't went out in the heat. I mean, this is the first time I think I've been outside. I think the biggest thing is I'm super shiny. So, I mean, you can see I look oily, and I don't have oily skin. So here's the thing. I will get into this more in my final thoughts. There have been steps that I have found that has calmed down the shine and made it last a little bit longer. So I'll get into that in my final thoughts, but this is just basically what the foundation is. It's an oilier foundation. It's got essential oils. So you kind of have to know, even if you have dry skin, you might get a little shiny in a few places throughout the day. That's it for this midday daylight check-in. Oh, he's sitting in the chair. Look at him right there. Look at him right there. He's sitting in the chair staring at me, giving me the saddest face. Oh, poor little Rowdy. He is the funniest dog. I love him. He's a golden retriever. He will be 2 in June, and he is the absolute love of my life. And every time I talk about him, I get teary-eyed because that's how much I love that dog. It's kind of crazy how dogs come into your life. And I have a lot of dogs. I have a German Shepherd. I have a Shih Tzu. And it's just something about him. I don't know what it is. But he came into my life right after my grandfather passed, and I just fell in love with him. So there you go. Anyway, so that's it for this quick check-in. I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. I will see you guys in my 10 to 12 hour check-in. And in that check-in, I will get into my final thoughts. Okay, so I apologize, you guys. Something happened to my mic. I'm not exactly sure what happened. It was turned on, but you can't hear me talking. So I'm just going to do a quick voiceover for this 11-hour check-in and my final thoughts. So as you can see, it is 9:44. So I've had the foundation on for 11 hours. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to take the camera off of the tripod and zoom you guys in real close so you guys can see how this is looking 11 hours later. As you can see, I've definitely lost most of the coverage around my nose and around my upper lip, and any place that I touch my face, this foundation just lifts completely off. You can definitely see right along my hairline, I've lost the coverage just from pulling my bangs like out of my face and just touching my face. It's pretty much all gone. And on the side of my cheek, you can kind of see this little gash where I must have hit the side of my face with my fingernail. And I mean, you can see here, as soon as I run my finger across, it just comes right off. And you can see here, as I'm touching the center of my face, it completely lifts off of the center of the forehead. So there are some drawbacks to this, and every single time I've worn this foundation, I've had that experience, no matter how I prep the foundation. I feel like this wears really well in the wrinkles. However, it does emphasize pores. I noticed that every day that I've worn this, I felt like my pores were emphasized. So if you have enlarged pores, that's something to consider. I do feel like this is probably best for those who have dry skin at the end of the day. I love the way it looks when I first apply it, but it only lasts that way for like 3 or 4 hours, and then it just starts to break apart. I've wore it with my Tom Ford Soft Matte Primer, and I've also powdered it really well, trying to see if I could get it to stay on. And honestly, at the end of the day, it didn't really make that much of a difference because this foundation is so oil-based and it's so oil-driven. It just is like almost meant to break away. Like, because of the ingredients and the formula, it's almost like no matter how you try to wear it, I just don't see this being something that's gonna last very long. I also do not feel like it's going to be summer friendly, especially if you're in a humid climate. I feel like this foundation will slip and slide. I don't see this staying on longer than maybe an hour or two in the humidity, to be completely honest with you. So I feel like this foundation will probably fit a particular need, but I definitely don't think this is for everyone. There are a lot of really beautiful tinted moisturizers and skin tints and stuff like that out on the market that last longer and look just as beautiful as this one does. I feel like if you have really dry skin, you might really enjoy this. But I feel like anybody else, it's just too glossy, too hydrating. It's got too many essential oils in it. And so it's just a slip and slider at the end of the day. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts. How many of you guys out there have bought this foundation? What is your skin type and what was your experience? I've always said that you guys in the audience, in the comment section, and your opinion and your thoughts is just as important as anyone coming on behind a camera and sharing their experience. So please share with us in the comment section down below your experience with this foundation. I'm so curious to hear. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.